As you can see in my previous videos, I'm a mom and I'm a photographer. You might be a mom or a dad or a sibling of a little child and you like taking photos of your children or your brothers or sisters or your cousins or nieces or nephews, or taking photos is so much fun. It's great. I love taking photos. I love looking at photos. It takes me back to a certain moment or a certain period of time when someone was younger, or we were traveling, or something significant happened, or just maybe the little things in life. When you take photos, it helps you to remember. It's great for kids as well if they have beautiful photos of themselves and they grow up and they can look back at this period of time that they might not remember and see just how cute they were or how adorable. So you want to take good photos of your own kids? I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. I'm assuming you don't have a super professional digital camera. I'll show you the camera I use, but you don't need to have this to take beautiful photos of your own beautiful children. As a photographer and as a mom, I can say that taking photos of your own kids is the hardest. They're just not impressed. When you ask them to sit in a certain position or to look at a certain direction, they have the ability to just completely ignore you and not be impressed by anything you say or do. Because they're your own kids and they just don't want to be in a photo. As far as newborn photos, I recommend you to hire a professional. But then when your baby is maybe 1 month old or 2 months old or 3 months old, you want to take beautiful photos. Babies are relatively easy to take photos of because they don't run away. Babies usually stay in one spot. If you hold like a little toy right next to your camera, they might look at the toy and accidentally look at the camera as well. They might sleep, which is, great because you can take photos when a baby is sleeping. Again, I do not recommend you to try out newborn poses when you're not a newborn photographer, because it can be very dangerous for your baby. Taking photos of a baby is very different with regards to the age of the baby. So usually in the studio, babies come in as newborns. So we do a newborn session. If parents are too late to book a newborn session, so for example their baby's already 2 or 3 months old and the baby wasn't born a lot of time before the actual due date, then I recommend them to come to the studio when the baby's 4 months old. 4 months is a great age to photograph a baby, 4 or 5 months, because when babies are 4 or 5 months old, usually they can lie on their tummy and hold their head up. They smile at the camera when you do like peekaboo, when you sing a song, when you show their toy, and then they can lie flat on their belly and then hold their head up, which is a great pose. And then also you can take photos when they lie on their back and look at you and you take a photo from above. Always wear a camera strap around your neck, because if you drop the camera, which can happen, it has never happened to me, but it can always slip out of your hand, you don't want to drop it on top of the baby. So if you take a photo standing right above the baby, please put a strap on. Okay, so and then of course the baby can lie on their back, maybe already grab their feet and lie on their belly and look at you. So 4 months old, you can do a lot of poses, but it's a great age to photograph a baby. Then if a baby is, for example, almost 7 or 8 months old, they learn how to sit. A sitter session is so much fun. Like taking photos of your baby when he or she can just sit by themselves. It's wonderful. This is the best age ever to take photos of a child, because they can't crawl yet, usually. They can't walk yet. So they can't escape, they can't go anywhere. They just sit there. Usually it's their very happy age. So you just do peekaboo, or you sing a song, or you clap in your hands, and they just smile at you. You can keep it very clean and simple. You can dress it up a little bit. Also, it's still a great age to take photos while they lie on their belly and they look at the camera, when they lay on their back and they grab their feet. So around 7-8 months, it's great to take photos of the baby. Then I also photograph a lot of kids when they turn 1 year old. At this point, some children can walk and run away. Most of them can crawl. So in order to take photos of a 1-year-old, you need some distraction. So usually we have a cake, a birthday cake. And this is great because when they have the cake, they're so focused at the cake. They usually stay in one spot and actually, you know, experiment putting their hands in the cake and making silly faces. So, but yeah, the photo session with the 1-year-old, you don't just want to have the cake, but we also take some portrait photos. So yeah, for that I have balloons, I have bubbles. Usually I ask the parents to bring some toys so they can sit behind me and show their toys. They might crawl away, they might walk away, and then we just put them back where they were, and then we try that a few times. And usually I have a lot of funny photos, portrait photos, then we do a family photo, and then we do a bathtub short session to finish off the photo session. Child will be clean, and it's fun with bubbles, and we put them in like a little bathtub so they can't go anywhere. So and then your child is 1-year-old, and what happens next? It's going to be harder. So after your child turns 1, it's a little bit difficult to take photos because at this point they want to run away. They want to just escape. They don't want to look at the camera. They don't want to look at the person behind the camera usually. They just want to play. They want to run away. They want to crawl away. They want to explore and discover and look anywhere but at the camera, because I mean they want to look at the camera for like 1 second and then they're off because their attention span is maybe 5 seconds. So after that they just want to do something different. They're easily distracted. So doing a photo session with a child between the age of 1 and 3 is usually quite a challenge, but still possible, very possible, as long as you have some distraction. So you want to take good photos of your kids? I'm going to give you some hands-on tips and tricks. So I'm assuming you take photos with your phone or like a compact camera. Yeah, if you use one of these and you don't have like an off-camera flash or something fancy, I recommend you not to use flash, because flash coming from the front is usually not flattering at all. Sometimes when you're inside, you have to use a flash because otherwise it gets really dark and you have to put your ISO at like 3000 or 6000 and you get a lot of like grain in your photo and you don't want it. So sometimes inside you have to use a flash, but yeah, I recommend you not to use a flash. Kids close their eyes, people who are a little bit sweaty become really shiny. It just makes your face completely flat, like your lighting becomes really flat. Usually people become really pale. So I recommend you not to use a flash unless you use an off-camera flash coming from one direction, or you bounce your flash off the wall or the ceiling, or you use a softbox, but I'm assuming you don't use those kind of things. So I recommend you to take your kids outside. So with a small baby and bad weather here in the Netherlands, it might not be very easy to take your kid outside. So I would recommend you to sit right next to a window and to have the window light coming from the side. So the window is not directly in front of the baby, maybe like coming from the side. So when you photograph your 5 or 6 month old baby and you can go outside, I recommend you just to put a white sheet or a white blanket on your bed, have your baby lie on their belly, and then hold a little toy right next to the camera, have the window light coming from the side, and take photos with just a white plain background and your baby lying flat on its belly. Outside, I really recommend you to put your children in the shade, because no one likes to be photographed in the sun. When you're in the sun, you close your eyes, you get like the very shiny parts on your face. You have great shadows, no ugly shadows, underneath your nose, underneath your chin. So I don't recommend you to photograph anyone in the sun. You can put the sun behind them. Okay, so yeah, preparation is the key. Make sure you have an empty memory card and charged batteries. My memory card just told me it was full. Timing is everything. It's really important that your child is well fed and rested. So it can be very frustrating taking photos of a very tired or hungry child. I recommend you to feed your child first, make sure it slept well, and then try and take photos. Some other piece of advice is to get down on their level. So it's never really flattering when you take a photo from like this perspective, like standing really at a low angle and shooting into someone's nostrils. So yeah, it's usually very beautiful if you come to their level, so you are eye to eye to them, and you take photos while you are on your knees or just sitting on the floor. Sometimes it's really cool to take a photo from above and they actually look at you, which is fun to have a change of perspective. But usually it's also fun to try to take a photo at their level. For example, when they lay on their tummy, you should lay on their tummy. No, usually I'm just on my knees. Yeah, just have fun with it. Play, sing songs, do peekaboo, make funny noises. When kids are a little bit older, I usually do just do animal sounds with them. I ask them, you know, what sound does a horse make? And because a horse here in the Netherlands does ee, they actually form a smile with their mouth. So yeah, play with them, have fun. When you're outdoors taking photos of like 2-3-year-olds, you can actually chase them as well. Just be careful, you don't trip over anything, they don't trip over anything, there are not any bushes that might hurt you. But if you just stay on the path and you just pretend to play hide and seek, when you just play hide and seek, or you just ask them questions, you know, ask your kids, like, what did you really enjoy doing today? What's your favorite subject in school? Do you remember when we went on vacation and you went to that cool swimming pool? That was so much fun. Like, actually talk with them. Usually they give you answers, and right after giving their answer, they show the most beautiful smile. It's also fun playing with the frame. So yeah, there are no rules. I mean, you can take a close-up of your child and really focus on their eyes, but you can also just you have your child standing in front of a tree and take a photo of the whole tree and your child just sitting there. It's fun to take a photo from the back. It's fun to focus on details. Maybe when your children walk hand in hand, just to take a photo of the two hands, but at the same time also take a photo of the kids while they are just walking hand in hand, because you want to see who they are and not just their hands. So to take photos of the little details, take photos of the overall picture, take photos of your child with a big background behind it, take close-ups, just play filling the frame, zooming in, zooming out if you can. You have a zoom lens. If you have a prime lens, you have to just run back and forth, which keeps you really fit and you don't have to do a workout anymore. Sometimes you have to just remove distractions and make it very clean and pure and simple. So not to have too many colors, or crazy hats or hair ties or accessories. And I always recommend clothes to be simple as well. Pick one color without busy prints or big logos or big words on your t-shirt or cartoon figures, because maybe in 5 years they don't know who Elsa or Olaf or Frozen actually mean. Sometimes it's fun to play dress up. Put maybe like a floral headband. Pictures don't have to be perfect. You just want to have your child in the photo, capturing the moment. Sometimes you can use a filter, but I recommend it to keep it very natural. So after a child turns like 3, it gets easier again to take photos, because then you can actually explain what's going on. You can ask them, you know, to sit for a photo, to look at the camera. And then afterwards you can tell them, okay, we're gonna look at the photos at the back of the camera. Some kids love it. Like, seriously, they are like posing and stuff because they want to see themselves at the back of the camera. They want to see themselves in print in their home, and they just think it's great. Some are shy, some are more like bold and just posing in front of the camera, but you can actually prepare them. You can bribe them as well. I'm not saying you should bribe your kids, but it's possible. Sometimes I promise my kids that we go out afterwards. Like, after taking some photos, we're gonna go out and play, which is bribery. And then, like, if they sit still for a photo, I might give them a cookie. That's like real bribery. That's like taking it to the next level. But sometimes you just really want to have a good photo, and they were gonna get the cookie anyway. And then just shoot a lot, and there will always be good photos. So thank you so much for watching. My clients are here. So I'm just gonna finish off this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and leave a comment, and then show me the photos that you took of your kids. If you have any more tips and tricks and advices for other moms, parents, just let me know. I have to go. Bye bye.